The Double Take Sports Talk, 5 good minutes with the Watch Brothers. Coming up on the show, we start week 8 of the NFL. Starting off with Thursday Night Football, Jacksonville at Tennessee, plus other announcements and need-to-know basis and analysis. That's coming up next. All right, this is it. Double Take Sports Talk, 5 good minutes with the Watch Brothers. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Daryl, and on the opposite side of the neighborhood, say hello to Daryl. Watch everybody.
What's going on? Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Okay. All right. Start of week 8 in NFL. Jacksonville, Tennessee. It's on the docket tonight. But before we get to the nitty-gritty of that, there's a couple of announcements that needs to be spread. Of course, I had said it back in week 6, 2 weeks ago. The first one is that for week 8 games, there has been 2 games that has been flip-flopped. The Packers and the Falcons have moved to 4:25 on Fox, and Cardinals and Panthers has moved to, downgraded to 1 o'clock on Fox, which is a very interesting move, as you said. Very interesting.
Yeah.
And there, like you said, it probably could be based off of how the performance been record-wise.
Yeah.
That could be one cause of it.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
Yeah. Very much so. It's very interesting and weird.
Yep. All right, what to look for week 8. Brought to you by NFL Communications. Of course, we start off with the international affair. The 2016 International Series in United Kingdom concludes in week 8 with the Cincinnati Bengals hosting the Washington Redskins at Wembley Stadium, 9:30 a.m. on Fox. It will be the last of 3 games in London played in London this season. Of course, the last 2 to play was the Giants when they defeated the Rams 17-10 last week, and the first ever game played at Twickenham Stadium, and of course back to week 4 when the Jaguars beat the Colts 30-27 in week 4 at Wembley. The NFL will return to Mexico City on Monday, November 21st, for Monday Night Football, 8:30 p.m. on ESPN, when the Raiders host the Houston Texans in the first ever Monday Night Football game to be played outside of the United States.
Know exactly who's going to win that
And of
game.
course,
I know who's going to win that game. I already got it. Mark them down. Sorry.
about Texas and the Raiders.
Yep, I know going to win that game. Mark them. I just thought
No doubt. I ain't fair to say it right now either.
Yeah.
So, of course, with the International Series being a very close contest since inception in 2007, in the first 16 games in London, 9 has been decided by 1 score, including both games so far this season, of course, which was the Giants and the Rams and the Jaguars and the Colts. The Lions' fourth quarterback, Matthew Stafford, threw the game-winning 18-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver Anquan Bolden with 16 seconds left remaining in the 20-17 win against the Redskins in Week 7. That is his 24th game-winning drive in the fourth quarter or overtime in his 8-year career. With a game-winning drive in the fourth quarter or overtime on Sunday at Houston, Stafford would tie Peyton Manning with 25 and Jake the Snake Plummer 25 for the second most such drives in a player's first 8 seasons since 1970. And of course, the top 4 that has done that, the most game-winning drives in the fourth quarter or overtime in the player's first 8 seasons since 1970, Matt Ryan with 30. Peyton Manning with 25, of course, Jake the Snake with 25, and then, of course, Matthew Stafford, 24. And as we speak of Matt Ryan, Matt Ryan has passed for at least 300 yards 4 times this season, leads the league with 2,348 passing yards. With 406 passing yards on Sunday against Green Bay, he will surpass Phillip Rivers' 2,753 yards in 2015 for the second most passing yards through 8 games in NFL history. And of course, they have a list here of players that have done it in their respective years. Of course, Matt Ryan doing it so far this year with 2,348. And then Brady did it in 2015. Andrew Luck did it in 2014. Drew Brees did it in 2011. Phillip Rivers did it in 2015. And, of course, red streak and hot Peyton Manning did it in 2013. Cowboys rookie running back Ezekiel Elliott leads the NFL with 703 rushing yards. He has rushed for at least 130 yards in 4 consecutive games, the first rookie in NFL to accomplish that feat. With 130 rushing yards against Philadelphia Sunday night, Ezekiel Elliott will become just the 7th player in NFL history to rush at least 130 yards in 5 consecutive games. Eric Dickerson, Earl Campbell, Chris Johnson, Larry Johnson, Clinton Portis, and Barry Sanders have all did that feat. And lastly, but not least, Bengals wide receiver A.J. Green had 8 receptions for 169 yards and a touchdown, not a pass, good God, in the Bengals' 31-17 victory over Cleveland last week. The performance marked Green's 9th career game with at least 150 receiving yards and a touchdown, the 4th most among players in their first 6 seasons. With at least 150 yards and a touchdown catch in London on Sunday against Washington, he would tie Randy Moss 10 for the 3rd most such games in a player's first 6 NFL seasons. Lance Allworth, Jerry Rice, and of course Randy Moss was the players to do that in their feet in their first 6 seasons in the NFL. And that is what to look for in Week 8. Keep that in mind, fantasy players. Yeah. So, okay, with that being said, of course, with a couple of games that's going on, well, with the games going on, of course, tonight and then the Sunday games, there has been some close games and tight standings in the NFL as we enter Week 8, which, of course, includes tonight's game. Well, yeah, tonight's game with the Jaguars and the Titans. That's going to be a tight race in the AFC South. With the Texans still leading that with the record of 4-3, and then the Colts and the Titans are tied 3-4. Colts only that tie, and Jacksonville's 2-4. So if Jacksonville did happen to win this game, they'll move up to a 3-way tie for 3-4. They will move up to 3-4. Jacksonville would, Tennessee would drop down to 3-5. So that's a pretty interesting tight race for tonight's game, too. And then you also got the Redskins and the Bengals. That's going to be a tight one for their respective division. Then the Raiders and the Bucks, another tight one in their respective division. Are you kidding me?
What?
Chargers and the Broncos play again? Already?
Right off the bat, huh? It looks like it.
You gotta be kidding me.
Double check.
They sure did.
Wait.
They're playing again. Of course, there's another AFC West type battle. The Packers and the Falcons in their respective division. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but yeah, for Green Bay, I believe it would be. Yeah. Then you got Philadelphia and Dallas. That is what, the NFC East? The NFC North?
Who?
Eagles and the Cowboys.
NFC East.
Okay. And then, of course, the Vikings and the Bears.
Monday Night Football.
Yep. So that's going to be some pretty interesting tight races so far in all divisions and their respective divisions on their own. All right. So in the meantime now, we could go ahead and get to the nitty-gritty, get on to our analysis for the games. Darren, you ready to rock this one?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our 5 minutes starts now.
All right, week 8, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars going up against the Tennessee Titans. That is a 8:25 game. Yeah. Thought they had a time up here. I don't see it.
Yeah,
it's an 8:25 game on NFL Network. Rather, if it's trending on Twitter, I believe it is. They don't say on here. Jaguars has won 2 of the last 3 games against the Titans. Of course, last week the Jaguars had lost in Oakland, 33-16, and the Titans lost to the Colts, 34-26. So the last game between these two cats was December 6, 2015. High-scoring game. Titans won by field goal, 42-39. Marcus Mariota passed for 268 yards and 3 touchdowns with 112 rushing yards and a touchdown. Incredible piece of stuff. And Dorial Green Beckham had 119 reception yards and a touchdown. And then, of course, the last game on site was the 6th of December, 2015. Just a couple things to throw out there. For the Jaguars, we had Blake Bortles threw for 322 yards and 5 touchdowns for a 134.5 rating in the last meeting. And in the two road games at Tennessee, he has had 658 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a 111.7 passer rating. Running back T.J. Yeldon has 136 scrimmage yards, 79 receptions, and 157 rushing yards, and a TD with a touchdown in the last game versus Tennessee. I doubt that Julius Thomas is going to play, so I'm going to leave that up for blanks. For the Titans, Marcus Mariota rushed for a career high, of course, I just mentioned. Well, actually, that was from last year. He rushed for a career high, 112 yards, including an 87-yard touchdown run, and threw for 3 touchdowns and had a 118.2 rating in the last game versus Jacksonville. And in the past 3 games, he has had 8 passing touchdowns, 1 interception for 113.1 rating. And DeMarco Murray had 603 scrimmage yards, 502 rushing, 101 reception yards, and 5 touchdowns in the past 5. Had 100 rushing yards in the last meeting, of course, when he was with Dallas. So, yeah, the rushing game is going to be a big factor if Tennessee wants to win this game.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be a big thing. Since 2013, DeMarco Murray leads the NFL with 33 rushing touchdowns and is second with 4,301 rushing yards. So, yeah, this is going to be very interesting. Let's see. Andre Johnson has the second most catches, 136, and reception yards, 1,794 by any player versus Jacksonville. Yeah, versus Jacksonville. And Delaney Walker in the last 2 weeks has 16 catches for 201 yards, 100.5 per game, and a touchdown. And he has 7+ catches in the 5 of the past 6 games versus their own division. Beast mode. So, yeah, that's going to play a big role. The running game is going to play a big role for the Tennessee Titans if they want to win this game. Darren, do you agree with this statement or not?
Your statement is saying that what now? Your statement again?
That the rushing game is going to be a big factor for the Titans if they want to win this game.
Absolutely. But looking at it, Tennessee averages 143 yards a game. You have Jacksonville allows 110 yards a game. When you look at that, I believe that that's going to spread the field, like always. It's going to spread the field, and Jacksonville is not going to be able to handle it. So with that being
I agree.
So that being said, my prediction for this game My prediction for this game is that the Tennessee Titans will win this game. That's my prediction.
I agree. I'm with you, Darren. I got the Tennessee Titans. There's no way in the world that they can stop that rush deep. The rush defense cannot stop that run.
No, not with Jackson.
If Marcus Mariota, he's the smartest quarterback I've seen. When he can't find nobody open, he knows how to run that football. He knows how to take care of himself. And then you got DeMarco Murray. He knows how to take care of that football too, and he knows how to run. So I agree with that. I got Tennessee Titans in this game too.
Yeah, 247 yards a game passing for the Jacksonville Jaguars. 217 yards passing game for Tennessee. I can see Tennessee pulling out this win, although Jacksonville allowed 215 yards a game in passing yards, and Tennessee allowed 250 a game. That's under what Jacksonville throws a game. So they can maintain Jacksonville with the throw game, their pass attack. So I believe Tennessee will have this game pretty much wrapped.
Yeah, they got this game pretty much wrapped. Like I said, these are some pretty good stats to maintain for the Tennessee Titans. That, like I said, and you got Dick LeBeau. I think he can figure it out with the Tennessee defense.
Absolutely.
And you see, they almost had the game versus the Colts, but somehow, some way, Indianapolis just played their defensive style when it came down to the closing minutes of the game, and they ended up winning that game and stretching that lead. So that's it. With the Titans, the defense is getting better, not 100% improving, but it is getting better and better. Mm-hmm. So I do believe that Tennessee can pull this baby off.
Yep, I do too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's our 5 minutes. Thanks for listening to the show.
All right. You can check us out on the social media side and listen to more of our podcasts. You follow us on Twitter at DTSD2414. Like us on Facebook, Double Take Sports Talk page at The Watch Brothers. Subscribe on YouTube and also subscribe to our podcast on the podcast app featuring iTunes. We got the blog featuring critical thinking and analysis. You can check that out at doubletakesportstalk.blogspot.com. The Chicago Cubs pulled out a 5-1 win at Cleveland, which I thought was going to be at Wrigley Field. I think did AL win the All-Star game?
I couldn't tell you.
Say what?
I couldn't tell you. I have no idea if they won or not.
Yeah, because I said the Cubs had the best record between the two. And I'm thinking the only thing I could think of is that the AL won All-Star game. They had the rights to home field advantage for the World Series.
That had to them.
Yeah, they can't be nothing else. So, yeah, they did pull in the so they did. Anyway, they won. They split the series. Jake Arrieta only allowed, I believe, 1 run. So this is going to be very interesting. Like I said, it's going to be a 7-game series. Would be surprised if it was 6, but I see a 7-game series coming here. And I think the Cubs going to pull it off, and I think we're going to end that drought.
Yeah, that I agree.
And that's all I can say about that.
Did you happen to see that The Undertaker is trending on Facebook?
No, what happened?
He attended the Cleveland Cavaliers season opening game.
Oh, he did?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
LeBron James wore a T-shirt with The Undertaker's picture on it saying we're not dead yet, in representation of The Undertaker. So The Undertaker, Mark Calloway, showed up with his wife, Michelle McCool, and just kicked it with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He was in his trench coat and his hat, and he did have his attire like if
he had his persona.
Huh?
He had his persona.
Yes.
Practically.
Yes. Yes. He did. Yep. Trench coat, hat, all that. Now, makeup, I don't think so. Because I couldn't tell the difference.
And it's kind of funny that he did that because he hadn't played basketball since he was in high school.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's very interesting that he did that. And then you come in with your persona. So it's very interesting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Weird, but yeah. And of course, you know that they came up with that T-shirt with Kyrie Irving being the ankle taker. So,
yep, the ankle taker, yeah.
so
How brilliant is that?
Yeah, so that means a lot to one Mark Calloway and his reputation as being the Undertaker of the WWE. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time, other than him and
yeah, no doubt.
Triple H and Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
They were all my favorite. Even Kurt Angle was one of my favorite
people to look at.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I still look at the old school stuff, man. I can't keep up with what's going on now, man.
I can't keep up with it.
I can't keep up with it. That's why I'll be on YouTube looking at some old stuff, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Old DVDs or something. It's just good to look at.
Yep, I agree. And that's what I do.
Absolutely. All right. Anything else? We can call it a wrap. Get on out of here.
Yep. Call it wrap. Get on out of here.
All right, let's get out of here. All right, that is DTST, 5 Good Minutes with the Watch Brothers. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Daryl. I'm just out in the neighborhood. Darren?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Catch up with us on another episode of Double Take Sports Talk, 5 Good Minutes with the Watch Brothers. Until then, ciao.